Think about what smart is supposed to look like. Quick answers, confident opinions, someone who always knows what to say. That's the image most of us grew up with. But here's what the research actually shows. The most consistent signs of a high IQ brain? They don't look like confidence. They look like habits we've been told to fix. Talking to yourself, overthinking a simple decision, preferring to be alone, saying, "I don't know," out loud. We're going to go through 10 of them, all backed by cognitive research. And here's the thing, most of them look nothing like what we call smart. Count how many feel familiar, because by the end, you might be seeing yourself a little differently. Let's start with one most people misread. High IQ individuals tend to need a significant amount of time alone, not because they're antisocial, but because of how their brains actually function. The prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for planning, reflection, and deep thinking, needs quiet space to do its job. Constant stimulation works against it. A study from the London School of Economics found that highly intelligent people report less satisfaction from frequent socializing. Not because they dislike people, their brains simply have a higher demand for uninterrupted processing time. Solitude isn't avoidance, it's a recharge cycle. Walk into a room with a high IQ person and you might not notice them right away. They're not leading the conversation. They're reading it, watching who speaks, how people respond, what's being said between the lines. That's not shyness, that's pattern recognition running at full speed. A lot of people mistake silence for having nothing to say, but often it means the opposite. There's too much to process, and the brain won't let it out until it's sorted. The observation comes first. The response comes later. Here's one that might come as a relief. Many high IQ individuals report their sharpest thinking happening late at night. Evolutionary psychology suggests this is linked to cognitive flexibility, the brain's ability to adapt beyond conventional patterns. And think about what late nights offer. No notifications, no interruptions, no demands from the outside world. For a brain that runs constantly, that kind of quiet isn't just comfortable. It's when real thinking finally gets space to happen. It's not insomnia, it's your brain finding its natural rhythm. The high IQ brain is wired for one thing above almost everything else: pattern seeking. You see something and anything, and the question forms automatically. Why does it work that way? What's underneath? What connects this to something else? This isn't a habit people develop. It's more like a background process that never fully shuts off. The world is a continuous feed of patterns waiting to be understood. And for a brain wired this way, ignoring that pull isn't really an option. If you've ever caught yourself narrating your own thinking out loud, good news. Psychologists call it self-directed speech, and research shows it's actually a cognitive tool. Verbalizing your own thoughts improves focus, strengthens working memory, and helps the brain organize information more effectively. Talking to yourself isn't a sign of losing your grip. It's your brain offloading to an external channel, freeing up internal space to process more. One researcher described it as using your voice as an external hard drive, and the people who do it most naturally, often the ones thinking the hardest. This one frustrates people the most, including themselves. Why does it take 10 minutes to pick a restaurant? Why does a simple email get rewritten 4 times? Here's what's actually happening. An analytical brain doesn't have an off switch for complexity. The same system that breaks down hard problems also runs on everyday decisions, pulling multiple scenarios, weighing outcomes, running through what-ifs. But here's the distinction that matters. This is not anxious rumination. Rumination is a loop, the same negative thought, cycling over and over. This is exploration, the brain testing possibilities and running scenarios. From the outside, they can look identical. But on the inside, one is stuck, the other is searching. This one tends to surprise people, but it makes complete sense once you understand what humor actually requires. A good joke follows a specific cognitive sequence. Recognize a pattern, break the expectation, then bridge 2 unrelated ideas in a way that clicks. 3 distinct mental steps, happening in milliseconds. Intelligence research has found a measurable link between IQ and advanced humor processing. The ability to catch unexpected connections, to hold 2 frames of reference at once, those are the same skills. A sharp sense of humor isn't just personality, it's pattern recognition under pressure. Most people treat "I don't know" as an admission of failure. High IQ individuals tend to say it more freely, and there's a reason for that. The Dunning-Kruger effect shows that people with less knowledge often overestimate what they know, but the pattern also works in reverse. As expertise deepens, people become more aware of how vast the territory is and how much of it they haven't mapped. "I don't know" from a highly intelligent person isn't ignorance. It's a precise read of their own cognitive boundary. That's a skill, not a weakness. Here's a simple question worth sitting with for a second. When new information arrives, information that contradicts what you believed, what do? Do you defend the old position, or do you update? Cognitive flexibility is the ability to hold your beliefs as models, not as identity. A model is useful until better data arrives. Then you update the model. High IQ individuals tend to be unusually comfortable with this, not because they don't have convictions, but because they understand what beliefs are actually for, tools for navigating reality, not flags to defend. Changing your mind isn't inconsistency, it's the system working correctly. The last one is less of a habit and more of a persistent condition. High cognitive ability tends to come with a heightened sensitivity to complexity, in relationships, in systems, in behavior, in why things work the way they do. The brain picks up more signal, and with more signal comes more questions. This leads to a deeper than average preoccupation with purpose and meaning, not as a philosophical exercise someone sets out to do, but as the natural result of a brain that keeps looking for what's underneath. It's not over-analyzing. It's a brain running at capacity, doing exactly what it's built to do. Here's the takeaway from all 10. We've been working with the wrong picture of intelligence. We expected it to look like certainty, knowing everything, having all the answers, never needing to pause. But the real signals look different. Solitude, uncertainty, questions that don't resolve quickly, the quiet, ongoing habit of updating your own thinking. None of these are flaws. They're evidence of a brain working at a high level. So, how many of these 10 felt familiar? Drop your number in the comments. And which one surprised you the most? If 3 or more hit close to home, you may have been underestimating your own cognitive style for a long time.